Uh, I was watching an excerpt from Bobby Hemmett, and he makes videos 5 hours long, maybe longer, maybe a bit shorter, and a lot shorter actually. He touched on the subject of going towards the insanity, working through insanity. So, as I expound on that, that is the whirlpool, that is the portal in which our lives will change because the insanity will cause us to inner alchematize or outwardly alchematize. Of course, following the laws of the emerald tablets, so within, so without, or the seven hermetic principles, so within, so without. The I am that I am is within, the I am that I am is somewhere out there in the cosmos as well, probably in relative proportionate distance to that, replacing rather. The insanity is where the purging through the insanity is how one would quantumly leap, you know. And yes, some people can quantumly leap further and whatnot, but it's about the personal journey. It's not about who does what on what level and how fast. It's all about the personal journey. Turtle medicine, tortoise medicine. I could explain situations to where one has to purge through the insane, the crazy, the insane. However, you know better than I would how to tell yourself how to, or what is the insanity that one has to purge. We know what insanity is, whether that be you're being talked about. You know what I'm saying? There's ways to figure out from the cosmos. The cosmos will speak to you. The cosmos speaks to me when I have to purge through something. It may be subtle, but the more I go towards the cosmos telling me things, the more I know, the more I'm prepared, right? And that could be seen as insanity, right? Because I mean, me getting here is just me purging through the insanity. You don't embrace the call of the shaman, the wizard, or the prophet, whatever, the magician. Your life goes through turmoil until you go to that. So for me, it was about getting through these things by not, I was getting through this turmoil trying to live like a normal person, get a job, go to school, continue my education, do this, do that. It's not until I become stern and literally fight for what's mine, which means to overcome the obstacles in my way to get to where I'm going. That is how I overcome the obstacles. That is how I get to the other side so that I can get the gifts that are waiting for me on the other side. And it's difficult. It's not complicated, it's just a bit difficult. Some people do not get to the other side in this life. People don't want to sacrifice or let go of things that they should shed away. And then they go back to religion. You say spirituality or the cosmic knowledge, whatever, esotericism. They say occultism isn't for them because they don't want to let go of the shit that's holding them back. So therefore, they still want to be babied because they don't want to let that shit go. And I get it. It's easier. It feels better to keep all that bullshit. There's consequences for it. Hell, there's consequences for letting go of the matrix. There's consequences for letting go of, what the demiurge or Satan, well, I shouldn't even say Satan, but the demiurge wants you to do. You stop feeding the matrix, there's subtle there's consequences for that. There's consequences for both. It's just, yeah, one has to choose their pain. Consequences and trials, but you learn through it. You purge through that insanity instead of letting the insanity happen to you. When you put your spoon into the Kool-Aid and mix it up, you throw your own ingredients in there. Yeah, you can freeze it and make it a Dixie cup. That's how much you can alchemize that sour powder of water, which we call Kool-Aid of life. When somebody gives it to you, it's like, ugh, man, instead of drinking and making it horrible, go make your own. Make it better. Turn it into something else. Alchemize it. You know, my manifestations are right there at 555. My manifestations are right there. I'm looking at them in the face. And I see that I have to inwardly alchemize myself so that they may come to me. It's about getting rid of the resistance. That is a good ritual to do on the self. Get rid of the resistance. The best magic you can do is the magic on yourself. And of course the protection magic. The protection shit. Because that's where a lot of people fall at. Is not protecting themselves. Of course, we do things, you know, I do things, you do things to keep yourself available to be attacked. But that must stop. And what is that? What shit is that? Not cleansing, not doing the spiritual shit, not doing the ritual to get the negativity off of you. One has to do maintenance on that. That's where a lot of us fall at. We want to get into this type of life and we don't do what's necessary to keep it going. Don't get me started with only staying in the light. Then you got to know what your ancestors want you to do. You got to know what your guides want you to do. What is the best, thing for you to do? It's so simple as sometimes you got to sit there and journal. You got to sit there and put what's going on in that bird's nest of a mind of yours that you haven't sifted through. You got to write that down. Just on a bit of a subtopic side note, sometimes not everything is gonna be your priority, man. Not everything is gonna be smooth. So you got to work with what's smooth and go from there. But yeah, the gist of this is to say, refracting back to it, insanity is where the magic is. And magic ain't always sparkles and butterflies, and honey cakes and all that, glitter and all this. It's not always that. Sometimes magic ain't too pretty. But you get it. You get it done. You do it. The life of the alchemist, the life of the magician. You you go through these dark times so that you can learn how to alchemize through these dark times, so that things like this won't affect you and you can have the power to change, to make real powerful changes. And then that's when you become your higher self. That's when you become your highest. That's when you come into your highest existence here. You become the high priestess, the emperor, the empress, the king, the hierophant. People think, oh, look at your life, you're doing this. It's some, you gotta. Those people do, they do some not so sane things to get that. It's not about how much money can you get in a day. It's about alchemizing what you fantasize about, literally. the these people that are in charge and and have all these different side incomes, these high paying jobs. It came through their state of mind. I know from experience, having hundreds of thousands of dollars and not having the state of mind for it, I dropped back down to zero. Changed my mind, changed my sceneries. My money starts to add up. It gets it as long as I'm vibrating like the Emerald Tablets of Thoth and the Seven Hermetic Principles speak of. I vibrate with that thought in my mind. You have that. You put your fantasy in your mind. You vibrate towards it. You manifest it. You do actions to do it. You do the rituals. You do the mantras. You say your mantras. You write it down. You journal it. You vibrate with it. You manifest it however you can, however you know how. And watch it come into your constellation. And you see high level conversations like this, you also have to ground. You have to have a sense of normalcy. You have to be a little bit grounded. You have to have some sense of normalcy. And that also comes with social normalcy. You got to be a little bit social, but you got to deal with people, so because people are what's going to be the things that bring these things into your life. Understand that. It's not about being introverted and extroverted. This is about knowing how to deal with people and of course the higher ethereal beings. But these beings are going to bring, when you do the ritual, it's going to pretty much come through people. You got to know how to be earthly or worldly a little bit and deal with people. It's like plugging back into the matrix. You plug into the matrix to get what you got to get, and then you get up out of there with the knowledge that you get. But at the same time, this ain't just about living in the matrix and living all poor and shit, eating fucked up porridge and shit. It's about living high class. I mean, if you desire that, at this point, it's whatever it's whatever path you choose to take within your life. Understand that. All right. Until next time, may the may your insane endeavors align in your favor. Because what do you really appreciate that doesn't come with a little bit of insanity or chaos first, right? The high school graduation came with a lot of shit, didn't it? College, yeah. Promotion at your job, maybe even working towards that bonus on your job. And you see, I don't know where y'all at on your spiritual journey, but there must be some sort of work, as they say in hoodoo. It must be some sort of ritual. It must be some sort. One has to do, and this is the fourth dimensional thing. When you have to do the ritual, you have to set that seed. You can pray about it, but it's also good. You want to see something physical. You want to light a candle. You want to have some fire. You want to have a ritual to bring these things. That's how you're gonna get your. That's how you're gonna get your stuff. You don't just do it by sitting and thinking about it, and it just comes to you. You have to manifest it with the elements, because it's sending out signals to the ethers. That's how we send out signals to the ethers. No magician sends out signals to the ethers without using elements. Even if you're just using your own body, your own mind. Eventually, your mind is going to tell you to get the elements, to light a candle, to go get something out on earth and, use that, speak to them, put it in the ether, put it in the higher vibratory existence, because that's the only reason why you can't see spirits and ghosts and all that, whatever entities, because they're vibrating way high. And when something vibrates too quickly, it disappears, or shit starts to levitate. A rubber band vibrates too high, what it do? It disappears. If something's spinning fast enough, that vibration or that frequency pretty much disappears. You can't see it happening. Something vibrate too much, you can't really see it no more. It's the same. It's the same. That is the concept. So, see y'all in the next video.